Hello, and welcome to the Soarin' with Soarin' video series. Today, we're going to speak about the effects of technology on the mortgage banking industry. Welcome, Soarin'.
Hello.
Everyone is searching for a better, faster, and cheaper way to do business. How does technology play a role in your industry today?
Technology is the central core of mortgage banking. Essentially, after the origination process, it's a long transaction, one of the longest financial transactions in the life of a consumer, which can last anywhere between a couple of years to up to 30 years for a fully amortizing 30-year mortgage. So throughout this process, there's a number of technology systems involved to keep track of the customer from the very beginning when they sign the document all the way up to the payout. Traditionally, because of the nature of this transaction and the fact that it's long running, it has been dominated by mainframes and other monolithic systems that have been built over many years. The core systems in the industry are unfortunately sometimes 20 to 30 years or even older than that and based on mainframes. Now, it's difficult to lift and shift all of these systems and introduce new technology, but the industry has been trying as a whole to slowly modify around the edges and introduce new technologies. For example, in origination, we see there's a lot of innovation happening today at point of sale systems, where the end experience of the customer or the borrower has been dramatically improved, where the closing time of a mortgage has gone from anywhere from a month down to a few days. We hear about rapid closings, we hear about rapid approvals based on pulling data from other systems. So that's just an example in origination. On the servicing side of the business, the focus really, and our focus is on making the customer experience for that long period that they are going to be customers of the servicing company very, very easy and simple. Back in the day, if you had to go to get your servicing information, simple information like have my taxes been paid, has my payment been processed, you had to make a phone call and stand in queue, or there were not very many self-service options. But today, the focus is on simplifying this interface by taking the customer to a website first, where only the essential elements are right in front of the customer, either in an app on a mobile phone or their iPad or on the website itself. And any other detailed information, for example, if you want to download your paperwork for your foreclosure in process, is also there, but not right there in the key interface. And what we have seen is that improving the interface with the customer, simplifying the customer experience, can do a lot in establishing a stronger relationship with the customer, a feeling of that they're empowered to get the information that they need for this financial transaction. So a focus on the user interface aspect in servicing is very, very important, and we see a number of large servicers, some with our help, have improved this aspect dramatically and made it easier for the customer to interact with them through the life of loan. Some of the other stuff that is happening on the back end of the industry is new technologies that are coming in to create a sea change in how the industry works. Previously, it was standardization of many of the data fields through standards such as MISMO and other XML-based standardization techniques, some privately sponsored and some industry-sponsored, that were utilized to improve the transfer of data between counterparties, such as two servicers to counterparties in the secondary market and the like. Today, we see a new technology such as blockchain coming in, where these centralized databases are being replaced by decentralized platforms where the information is essentially on the cloud, but in a very secure blockchain that is immutable and has all of the security and the transferability and the ownership built into it. And the industry will slowly transform into this, although the transformation in the mortgage industry compared to others has been slow.
Do you think that we'll be able to one day pay our mortgage with a cryptocurrency?
I hope so, because it would make the process much faster, more transparent. But that depends upon the acceptance of cryptocurrency as a standard by the banks. Some retail and other customers are doing that today. But in any case, even if you have crypto, then it can always be transferred over to what we call a fiat currency, such as a US dollar or European currency, and then payment made in that way. But apart from the currency aspect of it, the blockchain transaction, which can really improve a number of aspects of the industry, where we are essentially a monolithic centralized set of databases in mainframe systems talking to each other through old technologies such as EDI transfers or slow interchange processes, can be made much faster and more efficient. And on top of that, we can also give the customer, this is an important area, where the customer's data right now is in these databases. Now the customer can own their data and it can become part of their private blockchain. So just like we're talking of putting all your health information on the blockchain, how about putting all your mortgage information on the blockchain? How about the fact that you have been a good borrower and a good creditor be transferred over from transaction to transaction with your consent? If you're getting a new mortgage, the fact that you had a great payment history in the previous mortgage you don't need a credit report for it, can be transferred from your blockchain by a single button click. So there's a lot of exciting aspects that are coming on in the industry that we are carefully observing. There are a number of incubators that are building actively products in this area. And on the long run, I think we're gonna be seeing more adoption of these, but any adoption of the fringes, we're not gonna throw that away. But the core technology of the mainframe-based systems will probably take some time to transform, another 20, 30 years maybe. But in the meantime, all the rapid adoption of other systems will be driven by new entrants to the industry. We see a lot of new mortgage bankers coming in who do not have the legacy of these older systems, and they will be the ones that will be transforming, and we are right there next to them to help them achieve that transformation.
I love it. That's exactly why Nexval is considered the mortgage technology guru. Not only do they have you as a leader, but you're trying to look at how antiquated the process is, how to speed it up and use these relevant terms like blockchain and so forth to give them the sense of security and at the same time empower the consumer, which I think is really going to be a longevity type of approach.
Absolutely. I mean, in all fairness to the mortgage industry, we are in a highly compliant environment. We have a lot of regulators, and a lot of times change is held back by a lot of these external third parties who are looking at everything that we're doing, and they have to approve it. So in spite of wanting change, sometimes that change is not possible. But we can always look at what is achievable today and not say, well, right now, we can make this giant monolithic change, and we can keep moving with the times. And so there's a number of areas where, for example, in workflow management or process automation, where we don't have to deal with those hurdles. And those things are progressing really fast. We are seeing a lot of process automation kind of initiatives coming into the forefront. We are seeing a lot of technologies for improving quality and service levels coming to the forefront. And Nexval has a product called ARC that is one of the leading providers of quality automation technologies out there, where the entire governance, risk, compliance, and quality control is captured in one system that can sit on top of your servicing or origination system, and it can perform all of these functions as an added layer and give you all the visibility, which previously you could only do with Excel, etc. So there are a lot of opportunities to work within the system and not out of the system. And the external providers to the mortgage industry have typically been challenged to put their solutions into the industry because of the nature of the industry and the complexities that I explained. So as insiders, we are well poised to really work with the challenges of to make transformative change in steps that are meaningful and that make sense in the current context, than totally throwing up our hands and saying, well, we'll wait till the whole world changes.
Well, I think the agility and flexibility of Nexval is really what stands you guys apart from other companies, is that boutique approach to know when you have to change something, when you have to scale up quickly, and how technology plays such a key role in the transformation of companies.
I think one of the key factors to our success has been that we haven't taken no for an answer, and we've always thought a little bit outside of the box while remaining mortgage bankers, and that has really helped us survive and thrive. And we have the right scale and the right combination of people and processes to really lead the charge, where a lot of our peers who are larger companies with more bureaucratic systems and org structures that are very, very complicated, who, in spite of their best interests, are possibly unable to move as fast or bring into effect such change.
You're really an anomaly in the industry, and I think that technology is really what you guys stand behind, and that further development. Is there any other investment within the technology spectrum that you want to speak about regarding the industry, whether in-house or external?
Yeah, there are critically three areas where we're investing our dollars right now on the technology forefront. Number one, I mentioned, is workflow automation and robotic process automation technologies. How can we take what we do as a human process and break it down into constituent pieces, and which are the parts that we can send out to this Internet of Things, which is essentially systematic processes that run in a computer, and how can we make the human being more efficient, as well as improve their quality and take away the drudgery of things that are very, very repetitive and cumbersome, and take that away. So that's number one. The second one would be looking at quality and compliance and really effecting a change in those spaces by creating a consolidated quality and compliance system with dashboarding and other features that allows our quality managers to have a distinct view at the quality process. Rather than look at it as a batch process that comes over a period of time, they look at it directly. So that is our product called Arc. On the workflow front, we have a product called NextDeck. And the third area is really looking at the leading edge technologies. I mentioned blockchain. I mentioned other forms of automation that are being utilized in the industry, particularly in distributed finance. And we're looking at those as incubators that I mentioned. And we have a number of products in that area that are some which we'll be revealing in the next few months. And that will be dramatically transforming how mortgage banking is done, and give our client partners the ability to experiment with these technologies and implement them as needed. I think technology is an enabler and not the be-all solution. We are still strongly invested in our human resources, and a great set of people can create great technologies. I mean, even if you are gonna have a transformative change by taking some of the process work into a technology, you still need great technologies to build a great system. So it'll be garbage in, garbage out if you have bad people behind bad systems, right? So we continue to invest strongly on the human resource aspect. We continue to grow in headcount and in size, and we will continue to grow in terms of productizing and building solutions. One of the things that we've done on the technology front is really think as every system that we build as not a throwaway MIS system, as they say, which is just relevant to NextVal. We are productizing our system so that our client partners can use it, and we can further present that to the industry as a solution and innovation that will take the industry to the next level.
We really like to listen from the heart and hear all of these things that NextVal has going on, and what the future holds for this very progressive, young, fun company that I've gotten the chance to know. Thank you so much. That concludes our Soarin' with Soren series on technology. Catch us next time. Thank you.
Thank you.